My silver medal podium topic. My baseball team, Shohei Otani, signs with them. The Angels were the only team that told him he could hit and pitch, and that was the deciding factor. And so he is definitely going to do both. And what do you guys think about the prospect of everyday player who also pitches? Do you think that's going to be a trend going forward in baseball, or is this like flash in the pan and we'll never kind of really see it again?
I don't see it as a trend. That's like high school ball, bro, where like the best player like does everything. I just feel like Major League Baseball is so competitive. I just don't know how you could be elite at both. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like so much goes into being a utility player. Like, I mean, this guy's cashing off being a utility player right now, and that's what they do. I just don't know if you could also be elite in that area and also elite as a guy in the bullpen. And my thing is, I'm a fan of never half-assing anything. I want be elite at one of them. Like, it's cool. I know a lot of guys that went to go play college ball. They could hit the ball pretty well. It's like, dog, you got an arm pitch. And so it's just like I think Ohtani should be a pitcher. Like I feel like that's what he should do. You know, I guess, you know, in certain implications, if he does have to pinch hit or something like that, that'd be cool. But I think he should focus his talents as a pitcher. The MLB season's so long, there's so many injuries, it's so competitive, I just don't see him being elite at both. And if you can't be elite at both, what's the point?
Well, it's the Los Angeles Angels, and I can tell you firsthand, they're not elite at a lot of positions. They could use, if he's average at both, that might be better than what we have across the board in a lot of spots. Yeah. And here's a perfect way to solve depth. I'm a hitter and a pitcher, and he's in the AL where he could play DH as opposed to being a risky position. He could just hit and then be a pitcher, and that might bode well for you. I mean, I could see this working. What this conversation reminds me of, I know it's apples to oranges, but I remember when big guys in the NBA first started taking threes. And it's like, no, you should only post up. There's only one style offense that you should do. You can't do both. You have to be elite at one skill. You can't be elite at both skills. And then you see the game evolve, and you see guys like Kristaps Porzingis or Joel Embiid who are hitting threes at 7 feet. And my devil's advocate question is, do you think this guy could really be like the next evolution? Because I really see this in the future, because in LeBron and Magic, they played all five positions. You know, and I could kind of see that. I'm not sure if this is the kid, but this might be the kid that starts something.
Maybe.
You know, what do you think, Russ?
I'm going to talk about your point you just made about the whole basketball field. It's hard to compare basketball with baseball for the point that baseball is so specialized as opposed to basketball. Basketball, you're doing the same thing for the most part, except your range is expanded. In baseball, pitching and hitting are two totally different things. And like Niles said, they have to grow up doing both. But at the same time, like he said, it's guys who have never made it to the Major League Baseball and their entire lives. So, and doing one thing, let alone two things. So it's so hard to be elite at one, to come over, I really want it to work. I really do. Don't get me wrong. I'd love for him to be, win 15, 16 games, have an ERA under 4, hit 20 run. That would be great for baseball. But it's not. Until I see it happen once with a guy where it's successful, I'm going to be a skeptic.
Yeah.
For the pure fact that you're going to slump in both. And how does a slump in one affect the other? Especially because I think position players are more valuable than pitchers anything.
Yeah.
Because you're playing every day.
Right.
And that's where I feel like if he, at what point do they pull the plug and just say, all right, you're just going to be a hitter now? Or just going to pick. Where does the line get drawn as to what they specialize in that? And then I'll probably do that in the next couple weeks here, but because of the money involved, it's not a huge contract, so there's not. Like he really could suck at one and you still have a lot of value there because he's average to slightly above average at the other. Or if he's average at both, it worth the risk and the money that they're investing in it. Because you have a guy that's potentially depth for your starting rotation, and a guy you can have hitting your lineup every,
Hopefully he's not ass at both.
I mean, I think it's an advantage for the Angels.
Hopefully he's not ass at both. No.
I think it's an advantage for the Angels because in the end, like Russell said, even if you want to pull, the plug on one of them, you get a scout on both of them. You get to see a large sample size of what he's good at on both ends, and then you could decide, or maybe I want to specialize in. Or what if, here's something people haven't talked about, and I think is fascinating. What if he's a really good hitter and a pretty good pitcher, and then they save him as like a reliever once in a while?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe a bullpen. I didn't see him as a starting pitcher at all. I was thinking, if this worked, I could see him in the bullpen and he plays as a DH.
So you could never see it where he's a starting pitcher and a hitter.
No.
So that's the line you draw.
Yeah, I could see him as a bullpen reliever and a DH. I don't really see him as a starting pitcher coming in and hitting over 200 or something like that. I just don't see it happening. That's a lot.
I feel like they're going to limit his innings his first year anyway. So I don't know what that cap is for his innings limit, but I feel like I don't see him ever getting to a point where he pitches 200. And if he does, more power to him. That's great for baseball. But I just don't see this being a thing where we're like, we got because if you look at a guy like Brendan McKay, who was the first baseman / pitcher for Louisville last year, who the Tampa Bay Rays drafted, they're trying to do the same thing. But who knows where that goes? He's a really good, hitter, one of the best hitters in college baseball, and one of the best pitchers. But after a while,
it's hard to make
try to get yourself.
I don't see anybody making a career.
Develop yourself to a point where I'm the best at what to do at both. It's hard enough to do one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I will say is, as an Angels fan, I hope I'm going to be optimistic. I hope he wins 30 games next year. I hope he wins. I hope he hits 40 home runs. I hope he's in the home run derby. He's throwing it to himself and he's running it and then he's hitting it out of the park. I hope he does everything next year, okay? He's my guy.
As a Dodgers fan, I hope this plane crashes and burns.
As an Angels fan, I will assure you that it will.
Mike Trout to the playoffs, I'm down.
That's what I was saying. I'd love to watch Mike Trout more.
Yeah, that's the one thing is I really hope that, Mike Trout deserves someone who is like kind of close to him where it's like this is the one person who could challenge him to be like the best player in the league, someone who isn't just like elite at their position, they're doing above average at two positions. That could be the one thing that could challenge Trout, but trust me, he wants someone good in his team. So he's welcoming this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm excited, and Mike Scioscia, one of the more creative coaches in the league. I'll tell you that right now. It's either him and Joe Madden.
Yeah,
and
it'd be cool if he was a winning coach, but
he won one with here's the thing about him. He reminds me a lot of my favorite coach, Jerry Sloan, in that really didn't have as much talent as his competitors, and usually raised the level of his talent. And in the end, for a smaller market, like it may be the LA thing.
It's not really LA.
Yeah, exactly. They're always considered number 2 here.
Right.
And so for him to do anything, I mean, they have won
the Clippers of baseball.
They've won a championship more recently than the Dodgers have.
Hey,
so, last time you guys won it was an old man, hitting down here. And, it's a miracle. And then, we did it. We had the rally monkey. We were a lot cooler.
Y'all suck. Y'all suck.
We do suck. We do. But this is going to change because we have a Japanese Babe Ruth. So I'm excited. But we're in I think that wraps up for the silver medals, right? That was really good stuff, you guys.